So episode 4 of Daredevil Born Again was pretty great. I feel like every single week this show is like living up to the expectations of the original series and surpassing them in certain aspects. I'm just so grateful that the show is what it is. And it wasn't always like that, so getting something this good with these characters coming back is just a breath of fresh air. There is so much I want to get into with this episode, so if you guys could hit that subscribe button, we're getting really close to 3,000 subs. If you're new to this channel, I would love to have you here. Also leave a comment because I read every single one and I most likely will respond. I've got to know what you thought about this week's episode of Daredevil Born Again. Now let's go ahead and break down this episode and talk about just everything.
I'm Spider-Man.
This episode starts off actually in the morgue where we see Hector's body and all of his belongings, how he's kind of been reduced to these items that he's leaving behind. We get a great conversation with Matt and Hector's niece talking about how the justice system has failed the victim. It's really cool because they are clearly setting her up to be the next White Tiger and following in her uncle's footsteps. But I think my favorite thing about this is Matt is losing with the legal system once again, even though he's trying to do the right thing. He even went to the extreme last episode and outed Hector, maybe even causing him to die. This is perfectly in contrast with later on in the episode where Matt is defending a criminal for a petty charge that shouldn't be this serious. So Matt is clearly seeing not only are criminals being misrepresented by the justice system, but so are the victims and families. I honestly got that feeling that Matt missed Foggy in this sense, and not just in terms of missing his friend, but missing maybe the better lawyer, someone more personable, somebody to keep up the morale. All of that is gone for him. And Matt's trying to honor his legacy by doing things by the system, and maybe that's not even what Foggy wanted. It's clearly not working, and Matt notices this, especially with things that happen later on in this episode. We actually get our first real look at Muse in this episode with his full attire on, and man, he is creepy. I'm ready to see more of this guy. We do see him once more in this episode at the end, but I'm ready to just get full-on Muse stuff leading into the rest of the season. Now, in terms of Wilson Fisk and what he's doing in this episode, we have Daniel, the guy who's kind of a fanboy of Wilson Fisk working for his campaign office, and he's out partying with BB Urich, and he kind of leaks this information that wasn't supposed to be out there. So Fisk obviously is furious about this, and he wants to find out who did it, and later on in the episode he reveals himself to be the one who did it, but Fisk realizes that this kid has so much loyalty that it's not worth getting rid of him. Fisk is a player of the game. He's going to use that loyalty for something later on in the season, and I'm getting the same vibes as Victor and Oz in the Penguin show. If you know, you know. We once again catch up with Vanessa and Fisk inside of a therapy session with Heather, and this is also very interesting. You can see the things that get under Fisk's skin, such as Vanessa having an affair with this guy, Adam. And especially when Vanessa is talking about what she liked about that guy, I mean, you can tell Fisk was ready to blow his lid. But at this point, we're under the assumption that Fisk is a changed man. He's not gonna harm this guy. He has no idea where he is, and he tells that to Vanessa, which we'll see what happens at the end. Once again, we get a couple of those BB on the street interviews, and I think these are really great because once again, making New York a part of the story as a character is a good move when you have all of these morals fighting with Fisk being a public official as well as the justice system. I just think getting the voice of the people is a really good idea, and it's done in a creative way. The people are also voicing their frustrations, missing the vigilantes. Crime is going crazy. Nothing is being done even though Fisk said he was going to do things. With that being said, Fisk does want to do things. He wants to turn the Red Hook district, which we've heard about many times, into a new developmental industry area. The problem is there's tons of crime there, and Fisk, now being a public official in politics, prevents him from being a crime boss. So all of these gangs basically don't have somebody to oversee them, and this is causing crime, chaos, murder, all of these different things happening in this district. So Fisk is clearly struggling leaving his past behind while trying to do good in the future, but at the same time, maybe he's just power hungry. I mean, it would make perfect sense. That's how he's always been. Along with the themes of forgiveness and sacrifice, I think one of the biggest themes is the fact that people maybe can or can't change. We have two kind of polar opposite characters. We have Matt Murdock, who's giving up being Daredevil and doing things by the book, changing the way he is, and then we have Fisk trying to be a good person, now being a public official, leaving the life of crime behind. But as we've seen, it's just not happening. And the end of the episode, which we will get into, really cements that. One of the most interesting scenes, in my opinion, in this episode is Fisk doing all of these PR things for a good public image, and he clearly doesn't want to be there. Again, talking about what I just said, Do people really change? He's listening to these kids sing in school and he clearly absolutely hates it. He feels like he's wasting time, and this isn't the only time he has to go listen to people sing today. A really good twist that I did not see coming was the police officer who was attacking Hector on the platform and who Matt attacked in the apartment does not know who killed White Tiger. Matt listens to his heartbeat and knows for sure that he's telling the truth, so the question is, who did it? We don't get an answer to it this episode. I have a feeling it is another dirty cop, or maybe something Fisk was doing behind the scenes pretending to be one of these dirty cops, but we don't know for sure, and I think that's really cool. So because Matt doesn't know who did this, he goes to the crime scene and tries to find the bullet casing that was not recovered from Hector's assassination. And of course, he's Matt Murdock. He's got heightened senses. He's able to smell the gunpowder and find the gun casing, which is engraved with the Punisher's logo. Meaning we have to go see Frank Castle, and Matt finds him. Now, what an incredible scene this was. I mean, we've got great moments in the past. One of the best moments from Daredevil's original series was that rooftop scene between Matt and Frank talking about the morals, and here it's kind of the same thing, just under different circumstances. Frank is not really doing well, and while we don't learn too much about what's going on with him currently in this episode, we get the feeling that he's been hiding for some time. It's been a while since the ending of Punisher Season 2, and Frank has clearly learned that Matt Murdock is Daredevil. And while Matt is there to kind of ask questions about Hector's death and the bullet casing and his logo on it, I don't think that's why he's really there. Similar to how Matt used to go in the confession booths in the original series and confess to Father Lantom, I think he's here to kind of do the same thing with Frank. And Frank again brings up how Matt was not able to finish the job with Bullseye. He even calls him Bullseye in this episode, which was really cool. But Matt tries to rebuke this and say he got life in prison, to which Frank replies, "Did Foggy get a life?" That sets Matt off. He swings on Frank and then immediately apologizes and breaks down because he doesn't want to be this person anymore. What he's been trying to do since Foggy's death, trying to adhere to the system, doing things by the book, it's not working for anybody. Even Hector, who won his court case thanks to Matt, has lost his life and left his family behind because of the way the system is working. I thought this dialogue between these two characters was top tier, and I'm going to be watching it multiple times because it's just that good. It feels so good to have the Punisher back in the MCU. I mean, it's been so long, and I can't wait to see what these guys get into later on in this season because he's clearly going to be coming back. The scene was so emotional, and seeing Matt break down at the hands of Frank, it was just powerful. Matt never fully grasped why Frank, the Punisher, killed his victims. Matt was always trying to look for the good in people, and Frank just flat out tells him that bad people are bad. So while they still have these different ideologies on being vigilantes, one is clearly not better than the other. It's very much a gray area, and I think that's good writing. I think my favorite line is when Matt talks about Foggy being the most kind, purest soul that he's ever met, and even if Frank and Matt worked a lifetime doing good, they could never even get close to how good of a person Foggy was. Matt, for the longest time, has blocked out Foggy's death. He's kind of just moved on from it and not really processed it, and now it's coming out. This scene is so well done, and I encourage you to go back and watch it again. We then get a scene near the end of the episode with Vanessa and Fisk eating dinner, talking about forgiveness and how Fisk wants things to go back to the way they were. He talks about his father, referencing the original series, and it's all coming full circle because he's trying to not be who his father was, but at the same time, some of those characteristics are still sticking through. After his kind of therapy session with Frank Castle, Matt goes back home to Heather and he just can't sleep. He wakes up in the middle of the night, goes to the rooftop, and realizes, I might have to be Daredevil again. We get an awesome look at several different helmets, and Matt flips around all of his batons. It's really cool. I'm excited to see if we get the black one or the red one. I don't think we get the yellow one because we got that in She-Hulk, but nonetheless, it's really cool seeing all the different color waves of Daredevil's outfit. And now to mirror this scene of Matt delving back into his old ways, we have Fisk, who we think is a changed man, eating dinner down by himself in front of the Rabbit in a Snowstorm painting, and we hear someone screaming for help. We learn that Fisk has locked up Adam, the man his wife had an affair with, who he has been lying about, not knowing where he is. He has been keeping him locked away in a cell for God knows how long. So like I said, can people change, or are we just putting fronts up? Are we putting on these fake masks to pretend to be somebody that we're not? It seems like Matt's mask was putting away Daredevil and being this stand-up lawyer guy, while Fisk is putting away the criminal lord thing, but really he's not. His mask is being the mayor of New York, and clearly he has not changed. Now this would have been great enough to end the episode on that, but they actually give us one more scene of Muse, and it's gross. Muse is kidnapping these people and draining the blood out of them. It's disgusting, and I'm assuming that's what he uses for his paint. I'm really excited to see where his character goes, and I want to just learn more about him. Most importantly, give me your thoughts on this episode down below in the comments. Are you excited to see the Punisher return? I know I was. Do you think he's going to come back in other episodes? He's definitely going to. Do you think Fisk is going to tell Vanessa the truth about Adam? Do we think that Matt is going to officially become Daredevil again very soon? I don't know. Give me your thoughts. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all very, very soon.